All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Green White Checker TV with the Area 51 Racing League Indy Series tonight here at Kentucky. Drivers making their qualifying laps at the moment. So you see point standings entering this race. This is race number 8 of 12. Words are hard for me this evening. You see Jack Wells, Eric Schaus leading the way there. So they got a pretty good gap over third place Charles Johnson. So right now they're going to try to see if they can make this championship between the two of them. But I would definitely not count out that Charles Johnson or Craig Forsyth. You can never tell with them. I say especially. Actually, either of them, because they always have these opportunities to definitely go on some pretty good streaks and close that points gap. Running out the top 5 is Roy Wheeler, and then remainder of the top 10 you have Jim Brooks, Bud Steele, Michael Spell, James Ledford, and David Leclerc. So we'll let them finish up their qualifying laps, and then we'll go over our starting grid in just a few minutes. Alright, so qualifying has just completed here. So again, want to welcome you all to Green White Checker TV. Again, we got the Area 51 Racing League Indy Series here at Kentucky Speedway. Scheduled distance is 100 laps. Looks like we got about 26 or so drivers going to take the grid. However, it looks like we're going to have our one of our points contenders is going to start on the pole position at 72 of Eric Schaus. However, before we get going through our starting grid, want to welcome, of course, my associate here in the booth, Steve Goschak. Steve, glad to have you back again this evening. And I'll say I know you're kind of running some test laps around the track, so I'll say what were you able to notice there? See what these drivers are going to be expecting to see tonight.
Glad to be back, Kyle. Okay, so first of all, in qualifying, it's flat out all the way around. I don't know quite how they were going quite as fast as they were because I was a bit off from what the top guys did, and all I did was hold the throttle down and steer the wheel. But they put down some amazing lap times, and here's what I noticed in race mode: you can go flat out all the way around 1 and 2 every single lap. It doesn't matter how many laps you've run. When you get to 3 and 4, I would imagine with the aero effects, you're probably going to have to crack the gas even at the beginning, unless you're the leader. But as the tires wear, it starts to push more and more in 3 and 4. And if you don't learn how to manage that during the race, what's going to happen is the people who don't manage it well are going to fall off more and more from the people ahead of them. and lose spots to the people behind them. So this really could turn into a tire management race. And one other thing I noticed from watching some of the guys racing each other, it looks like you can race side by side in both turns, but it's going to be interesting to see if they actually manage that during the race.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good info. And say, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be really interesting to see how this all pans out this evening. So yeah, I'd say we're looking forward to it. So as you can see, our starting grid here, you got Eric Schaus on the pole, Nick Fleury in second. Then you got Craig Forsyth, Charles Teed, Corey Cook, David Leclerc, Charles Johnson, and Brendan Pasolaco around our top 8. Saying 9th and 10th, you got Jared Kaczynski and Gary Corley around our top 10. You see 11th through 16th there on the grid. Go through here as we got 17th through 24th. Those drivers decided to just try to take the grid positions that iRacing gave them. Then it looks like the last two in the field gonna be Benjamin Combs and John Brill.
I'm noticing that Corey Cook, I believe that's him, has a beautiful new paint scheme that's red, white, and blue. Got the stars and stripes on his car.
Yeah, you're correct. That is Corey Cook. Has a good-looking paint scheme. So pace car is in, waiting for that green flag to fly for this initial start, and we are underway here at Kentucky. Pretty even start there for the front row. Saying that's going to be one more thing I have to give you an update on, Steve. We didn't have a chance to before the start. I'll clear you up on that as we get going here, but we are underway at Kentucky.
So far, it looks pretty tame. We do have some side-by-side in turn 3 and 4 right now.
I was about to say so far so good, but we did not quite make it through 3 and 4 for everybody. It looks like Jack Walls has gone around, or may have got some help. We'll have to wait and see. However, that is our championship points leader entering this event, so that's going to be critical for him. He does get back going, so he's going to be able to at least stay on the lead lap here. I also saw the 44 of Dwight Plesh. He actually looks like he took a tow. So let's go ahead and see what happened here to start this first caution here. That way we can see. Oh yeah, and I see the 44 is up and over actually as well. I'm not sure if that happened after the fact. Wow, he went for a ride there. Alright, let's find that 83 of Jack.
To me, like Jack Wells wiggled a little bit in 3 and 4. And then let's see who was right behind him.
Yeah, Michael Spell right there, and I believe that might be Christopher Kresge in the 16. I believe.
Yep, that's correct. And he, I guess, Christopher must have backed off a teeny bit, and Michael ran into the back of him, which is what pushed him up into Walls.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Oh, actually, I have a fair bit of net code as well. So I'm watching it here. But yeah, so say unfortunately just Jack got loose there, and so he makes heavy contact with the outside wall. So again, he's gonna have to use that fast repair. Then behind him though, and so you see the 44 Dwight Plesh. Looks like he's reacting to some stuff going on in front, and then he makes contact with the outside wall as well. And he actually flips over. I believe that's the 18. Oh, the 18 actually no, the 18 or sorry 78. That is Nicholas Nuck. But yeah, so we'll speed this up because let's say he goes barrel rolling for a while here, so another contact between the two of them there as well. So, and then unfortunately for Dwight, he does not get back on his wheels, so then he has to take that tow. So yeah, so now he's sitting in the pits waiting to be serviced, and right now is the only car a lap down. So yeah, but I say we'll jump over to Jack Walls. He is still back in contention here. So you see he's back on track there. Michael Spell looks like he made a pit stop as well, and I'm sure the that 78 of Nicholas Nuck, I'm sure he's pitted there to get some service to that car as well. So as you mentioned, there's going to be loose on the initial get-go, and unfortunately it was, which puts us under our first yellow. Looks like Eric Schaus was able to just hold on to that lead. He had a good battle right behind him with that 025 of Nick Fleury, but able to hold off on that position to stay with the lead there. So again, that's going to be a bonus point for the pole position, but then also a bonus point there for getting that lap led again, which is going to be critical for him, especially right now. A long ways to go, of course, Steve, but with his championship rival right now showing in the 23rd position.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice cushion for him. But we've seen Jack Walls come from the back before, and he always seems to get himself up with the leaders before the race is over. So I expect to see that again.
Yeah, if there's a time to have issues, it's early on. I mean, of course you don't want it at all, but if you're gonna have something happen, have problems, you want that to be early on. That way you have lots of time to recover. So, say turn 3 and 4, lap 1. That's about as early as you can get, unfortunately for Jack. But like you said, I mean, he's still definitely going to be in contention here.
I hope that Dwight Plesh is okay because that was a pretty awful crash that he had.
Yeah, so he's still showing in the pits. I don't know if he's still getting towed or not. Can't quite tell if he's in the car. Sometimes if you can see the driver in there, you can get a better idea. So
He might be in the infield care center.
it is very possible he went for quite a ride. Saying we got to do a little bit of bias on our end, so we got a new driver here in the series, that number 5 car, Chris Jabot. I know sometimes his mom watches, so if I don't know if he gave her the info for our broadcast. Let's say this is the first time he's been over here with Area 51. However, if she's watching, hope you're having a wonderful evening. Say Chris just trying to get his feet wet here, not get himself into any trouble here starting off, and just trying to get familiar with these Indy cars. So it's kind of cool to get him on board here. So yeah, I'm hoping to give him a hard time after the race. So Mom, if you're watching, feel free to send him messages, give him grief, and we'll see how he does tonight.
And I'll give a shout out to Chris too. Nice to see you out there in the field in that lovely blue and white car.
Rachel's requesting that I guess she's got some extra supporters for Eric Schaus. Her brother and her father are both watching tonight, so I guess they're also big Eric supporters. So that 72, say our pole sitter and championship contender right now, Eric Schaus, is again started on the pole, leading the way here as we still ride under yellow. So definitely want to give them a shout out. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. Look forward to obviously getting this race underway again under green conditions. Let's say we've kind of talked about week in and week out, Steve. That 72 car is usually one to be contend with for the wins here. So same thing there. Won't be surprised to see that happen again this evening.
Definitely, and I certainly hope that all of his family is Eric Schaus supporters, because if they're watching and rooting for someone else, that would probably be painful.
That could be an awkward family get together if that was the case.
Definitely.
We got more fans going here. Yeah, Brandon Pasalacqua in that 23 car. Let's say also we got Mikey Nystrom, giving him a shout out as well in that 23. Sounds like he's saying he's going to be one to watch, and saying you're not wrong. I've been seeing Brandon up front a lot in these races. I think he joined, I want to say, in season 5, and you're exactly right. Brandon's been one that's been doing awesome as well. So I look forward to seeing Brandon in this race. Like I said, just right now running right about where he started, because again we didn't get too far unfortunately before that yellow. And you mentioned Dwight. He is okay. He is back on track. 2 laps down, unfortunately, but again, the only car trapped a lap down at the moment, so just needs a couple of incidents, as long as he's not involved, to get back into the mix here.
Yep, and I'm glad to see he's okay.
Yeah, so you got to be careful of some of these guys with their fancy rigs. We know a few people now with some motion rigs, and so I always worry about how violent those crashes are for those drivers with those motion rigs, but probably still a little better than the real thing, at least.
So I'm noticing Art Peck and Bud Steele are listed at the end of the standings, and I don't see either one of them on the track.
Oh yeah, they missed them not taking the grid. I think Bud has been pretty busy with real life stuff going on, so I think he probably tried to join to see if he could make it, but probably unfortunately was not able to. But you never know, maybe they'll hop in late here, which would be always cool to see. I actually just saw Jason Bridges here just jump to the pit last second as well. So that being said, the pace car is off, and we're going to get things going again here, coming to lap number 7. Oh, and what I didn't tell you, Steve, as we get going right away, is the leaders actually have control of the restarts now. So Eric Schaus, once that pace car pulls off, he can fire at any time. And as you saw, he did, and he's got a pretty good gap here to start things off.
Nice. I like.
So yeah, so right now Eric Schaus leading the way. So you can see he's got a little bit bigger gap from the get-go over that 0.25 of Nick Fleury. Again, I think also a new face to the league. So also good to see him over here with Area 51 Racing League as well. And I say he's starting off strong here, right on the back bumper of that 72 of Eric Schaus. Going to try to see if he can contend for the lead as he comes out of 2. He's going to jump to that top side and see what he can do entering 3.
Okay, he got a really good run through 1 and 2. And let's see. Took a higher line through 3 and 4. Looks like that gave him some more momentum off the turn.
And I'm mixing up Kentucky and Texas. I know they both reconfigure their tracks. So which at Kentucky is it flat out through 1 and 2, 3 and 4? You might have to breathe it a little bit, or is it pretty much flat all the way around with these cars here?
No, in 3 and 4, definitely you have to breathe it, especially the longer you go in a run.
Okay, so that's the one I couldn't remember. So I know Texas was one way and Kentucky was the opposite. So okay, so 1 and 2 is the foot to the floor here, but 3 and 4 we'll see him slow down a little bit on the entry. Like I said, it sounds like it'll definitely do that more as the tires wear as well. But you can see though, I mean, we've got 5 cars here all bundled together. You got Eric Schaus, Nick Fleury, Charles Teed, Craig Forsyth, and David Leclerc. They're all in this mix here. We mentioned Corey Cook a little earlier in that patriotic paint scheme right there in 6, just out of the group. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Corey join the party here in just a little bit.
And Nick Fleury just took the lead on the front stretch.
Oh, he did, and as that happened, the caution has come out, and we have jinxed our friend Chris Jabot. Say he's got big time damage to that car, and so he's going to try to limp this thing back to the pits and see if he can get back in the mix here. Let's see what happened to that number 5.
Oh, he lost it all by himself.
Yeah, pulling up the replay right here. You see him. Yeah, oh yeah, he starts stepping out of 4 there. Yeah, the back end steps around. You see the wheel off to the right, tries to catch it. And unfortunately, once he does that, you know how it always goes. Unfortunately, Steve, it just hooks at the exact wrong time. But yeah, heavy contact to that outside wall. Looks like just the 5 was involved here. So I don't see anybody else getting caught up in it. And as you can see, he's waiting here, wait for the field to go by, and then he'll get rolling again. So yeah, so he's going to limp this thing to the pits here. Looks like he's gotten to the back of the field, which will allow him now to get that damage repaired here. Let's watch the leaders, see if there's any pit stops. Nope, leaders all stay out. However, that 44 of Dwight Plush is going to definitely be happy about that, because I believe that's going to get him one of his 2 laps back. And so now just put him 1 away from getting back here onto the lead lap.
Looking from Chris's in-car, trying to figure out what happened there. I mean, knowing that these things start to push as badly as they do coming off of turn 4, he took a lower line, which makes it push even more when you're exiting the turn. And but it looked like he was going to miss the wall, and he, for some reason, just kind of turned the steering wheel a little bit too quickly to the left, I guess, and that got the car completely out of shape.
Yeah, man, as we were talking with him obviously a little bit before the race, just kind of as friends and stuff, and so he was mentioning that he hasn't really run these cars too much before, so it's going to be a little bit of a learning experience. I say his goal is to try to kind of stay out of the way of the others and learn and everything like that. So unfortunately, kind of a steep learning curve on that one, but again, I mean, I'd say it's still early, and he can definitely recover easily from that. Again, that's the bonus here of the Area 51 Racing League. Should you get caught up in someone else's incident or make a mistake on your own, we do have the 2 fast repairs, and so we've seen those come into play. And there's also strategy that comes into play on those as well, whether or not you want to try to use the fast repair, or maybe if it's just like a nose cone damage, Steve, maybe just get the nose replaced manually. It adds about 5 seconds to your pit stop, but then you have a fast repair in the bank for later on.
That's definitely good to know.
So yeah, so it looks like pretty much most leaders here all stayed out. So we'll say while they're right around under yellow, we'll step away for just a moment, and we'll rejoin the field here on the 1 to go. All right, lights are off on the pace car. Say new leader showing that's that 025 of Nick Fleury. Again, mentioned and say I think that's also a new name to the series. So he's starting off strong here. Say started in second, has the lead currently. And again, he's going to have control of this restart. So once that pace car peels off, he'll have control of when to fire, and it's going to be up to those cars behind to try to get on the get onto that back gearbox of that car as quick as possible. We talked about how big that draft is. That's definitely going to come into play here. Pit strategy wise, looks like the top 12 have yet to pit. 13th on back have just pitted under this most recent caution. Again, we have 22 cars on the lead lap. 44 is 1 lap down, and then the 34 is 5 laps down at the moment. Alright, pace car is in. We're going to watch that 025. He is away. Yeah, and you see, again, gets a nice start. They're able to get a pretty good gap right off the bat on Eric Schaus. So I think there's going to be a bit of a learning curve for some of these drivers to get familiar with that, just because they've been used to running the go on green for 5 seasons now, so it's going to be a bit of a learning curve. But you see also Nick trying to break the draft right away here, but obviously Eric's too close for that to take into any effect yet, and you're going to see that 72 car come up here with a big head of steam as they come into turn number 1.
Yeah, I noticed in practice that the draft is you can feel it from a ways back, like the entire back straightaway. You could start to catch the draft, so it's going to make a big difference here.
Yeah, these Indy cars do have a pretty big toe. As you can see, Eric Schaus is right on the back bumper of that 025 Nick Fleury. Looks like he thought about going to the top. He's going to stay low here for the moment. And actually, one thing I mentioned too, I talked to some of the drivers during practice, and they said fuel window's about 34, 35 laps or so, depending on how much you're saving, how much you're drafting. So if you're that lead car, you're going to probably have to pit after about 34 or so, 35 pending yellows, of course. So we'll keep an eye on that as well, because right now these leaders are going to come around. This will be we'll start lap number 20 of the scheduled 100 distance. And I'll say again, right now that 025 and the 72 showing the way here at Kentucky. Right behind him, Charles Teed in that 27 car.
Yeah, he's closed up with them. This is now a 3-car battle. And it looks like Craig Forsyth is starting to close in a little bit. And here's something interesting I noticed. In 11th right now, the first car that pitted on that last caution, so he's got 12 laps fresher tires, is Jack Walls. And here goes Eric battling for the lead.
Yeah, Eric's going underneath that 025. I'm going to send it into turn number 3. Looks like he'll get it to stick, but looks like Nick's got a good run off of 4. They're going to go side by side through the front stretch. Looks like Nick's going to hold on to the lead at this point. So I'd say it's a good thing to learn as you go, as this race progresses here, because you'll be able to kind of learn what you can and can't do, what works, what doesn't work. So maybe the inside line isn't the place to try to make the pass. Maybe you want to be on the outside to kind of keep that momentum up. So we'll see as they go through 3 and 4 this time around. Oh, as I say that, though, we have a yellow back out on the track. Trying to see if I can find where it is. Oh, it looks like it's the 09 of Corey Cook. Heavy damage to that car. So you can see Corey waiting for the field to come by. Still got a few more cars to go before he can loop that thing back around. So we'll see what happened to Corey, though, to bring out this 3rd caution.
That's a shame. That brand new paint scheme.
Say watching that 09 come through turn 2. Oh, just steps out on him off of 2. You can see the same thing as what happened with the 5. He tries to catch it, and it's unfortunately big contact to the outside wall, and that's just going to throw him across the track here. We'll see. Hopefully nobody collects into him. Oh, it's a 65. I think I saw Gary Corley, I want to say. Jack Walls just sneaks by here, and there's another car involved. Couldn't catch the number there, unfortunately. Looks like I couldn't catch it offhand. I think it was Josh Garner in that 023 car. And I thought I saw a few others maybe actually going through the grass to avoid that 09 as well. Let me go back and get a better angle here.
Yeah, I'm seeing somebody who just went down in the grass and
41.
slammed the inside.
Oh, Ryan Wachter. Oh, you're right. Heavy hit for the 41 as well. So yeah, so a few cars involved. Looks like Ryan's able to get into the pits there and get some service done, though, and get that fast repair and stay on the lead lap, most crucially. And then the 44, Dwight Plush, is back on the lead lap here. So he got those 2 yellows he needed, and he's back into play here. That's going to give us, actually, looks like now 20 cars on lead lap, because we've got a handful now a lap down after that last incident.
That's a shame for Eric that caution came out when it did, because he had gotten on the outside of Nick going through 3 and 4. Same thing Nick did to him the lap before, and he had a good enough run. He was taking the lead.
Yes, and I think that's what they were able to learn there. So it was a good. I say I would have liked to see it pan out all the way through. Unfortunately, did not. But yeah, so that's gonna be something he learns here. So now the curiosity is going to be our race leader, Nick Fleury. So remember, we talked about the fuel strategy and all that. We've seen him burn some drivers before, unfortunately, staying out too long and then having to pit under green. So right now, Nick Fleury still is our race leader here, but has 24 laps on this run. And so again, yet to make a pit stop. So obviously, you got to kind of include the yellows. But let's say it is 34, 35 laps. I don't know. I feel like he can maybe go another 20 at most before he'd have to make a pit stop again. Let's say the next car in line looks like actually the only car to make a pit stop, or not yet to make. Sorry, the only car not to make a pit stop on the last run is that 76 of Jim Brooks in second. He pitted about 12 laps later than the 025 of Nick Fleury. So yeah, we're going to see how these two fare with their slightly older tires. However, Eric Schaus, though, in the 72, he's going to be the first driver out of the pits, and he'll restart in that third position. You see a few drivers here, unfortunately, trapped behind those 2 leaders. Looks like Art Peck has made it onto the track in that 36 car, and then in front of him is the 34 of Jason Bridges. I think both of them are hoping to try to kind of just grab a lap back the old-fashioned way, if you will, and get that wave around, but unfortunately not going to pan out on this attempt. And yeah, still showing Corey Cook as well in the pits. Looks like Corey may have had to take a tow after all that.
You know what I'm thinking if I'm Nick Fleury here?
What's that?
I'm thinking, I should have pitted.
Yeah, when you're the odd man now, it's never a good feeling. So but it looks like he's kind of just. It's one of those things where you say you make your bed, you got to lie in it. So it looks like that's what he's going to wind up doing here. I say 09 of Corey Cook is back out on track. It looks like 2 laps down. So say the only plus side for Corey is he's the first car a lap or more down. So Nicholas Nook and John Brill are 3 laps down apiece. So I'll say he's going to be he'll basically get the first dibs on the free pass should the yellow come out while they are, as long as he's not involved, of course. Alright, lights are still in the pace car, so again, we'll step away for just a moment, and we'll join the field here on the 1 to go. All right, lights are back off of the pace car. You see our leader there, Nick Fleury, in that number 025 machine. Say again, they see that 72 Eric Schaus up to third again. Brand new tires on that 72 machine. About 15 laps on the 76 and about 27 on that 025. So we'll see if that comes into play in this restart here. And again, these drivers are going to have to be on their toes and try to get on the gas as quick as possible, as they want to try to stay close to that leader or the car in front of them, of course, and then take advantage of that draft and see if they can make a move here and try to get up front here. So pace car's off, wait for that 025 to get going, and then we'll be back underway with, let's see, 73 to go at the line.
We're about to see what kind of a difference the 23 lap difference tires are going to make here. Nick got a great start.
Yeah, I say Nick went really well there. But you can see Eric got a much better start, though. You see he's pretty close to the back of that 76 of Jim Brooks, so say they're going to try to get back up here, and then say actually Eric's already pretty much all over that 76 car through 3 and 4. He's going to try to see maybe he can use the draft here and get right to him. I say if he can get to him, I think off of 2, that's going to be the easiest way here to try to make that pass.
And they're both catching Nick Fleury in a hurry. Hey, I made a rhyme.
So don't you love the unintentional rhymes?
Yep.
Here comes that topside move we talked about. No, it looks like 76 rolls out of it a little bit more than the two in front of him do. So that's going to open the door for Eric Schaus for the moment, but Jim Brooks going to fight back on the top.
Yeah, I think Eric's going to get him here because they can go flat out through 1 and 2, and the inside line is definitely the advantage here. Craig Forsyth is catching all these guys in 4th place. And now we're about to see what's going to happen with Eric Schaus and his 23 lap fresher tires as they come off turn 4.
Yeah, big momentum a little bit. I'm not sure if it was a block or just wanted to protect the bottom, but yeah, it was a close call between the two of them. They're off of 4. So yeah, I think it's only a matter of time, though. It looks like Eric Schaus has the speed and the tires, of course. Let's say, so let's see if he's going to go to, he's going to take the inside. We'll see if the fresh tires are able to make the move happen here in 3 and 4. Outside momentum still is working, so let's say it's going to be close, though. I don't think Nick's going to clear him, though, off of 4. So this is going to give Eric the preferred line here entering turn number 1.
Yep, definitely. And we got a good battle for 3rd going on with Jim Brooks and Craig Forsyth right behind them.
They still stay side by side, though, so say Nick's not giving up here. But I think it looks like this time Eric's going to just be able to clear him, but I think we'll see the same thing. I think we'll see Eric, go straight to the bottom, protect that inside line. I saw the 50 of Jack Walzer get loose off of 4. He's doing some off-roading here through the grass. Just stays to the outside of the pit cone, which is critical here. As they see, he's going to pretty much just use that pit exit. He's going to have to kind of work around. It looks like John Brill coming out of the pits too. But good heads up driving by that 50 David Leclerc. I think he's going to get away with no penalties as well. Unfortunately, just loses a lot of track position there.
So I definitely feel like Eric's tires are giving him at least a slight advantage right now. And if it wasn't for the heavy draft at this place, I don't think I don't think Nick Fleury would be able to hang in there the way he is. But he's hanging in a lot better than I thought he would be able to do on those older tires.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's a combo too, where you have the fresh tires, I should say you have the older tires if you're Nick Fleury, but at the same time you also have less fuel, so your car is lighter. And with the Indy cars, it's extremely critical to have that lighter tank of fuel. You'll see these guys actually kind of try to plan their fuel stops to make sure that they're as light as possible at the end of the race. So could be coming into play as well, but you're right, though. I mean, this is still a really good fight here for the lead up front.
Yeah, that's a great point, Gael.
Saying up, still in 3rd, Jim Brooks still holding on to that 3rd spot. I think Craig might just be kind of taking his time. Big move there. A little block there as well, but we'll see how they go through 3 and 4. And yeah, there's that momentum we talked about. You can see there's, I think, the best show of the tires there. You saw 0.25 wash up pretty badly out of 3 and 4 there while being kind of pinched to the inside line. And that's given Eric Schaus the little bit of a margin he was looking for. And it's also going to put Nick now into the clutches of Jim Brooks. And that group is starting to tighten up too, as I see Craig Forsyth, Charles Johnson's there, Charles Teed's there, and then Jared Kaczynski is not too far away as well.
Yeah, I was definitely noticing in practice that once the tires started to wear, the bottom line in 3 and 4 had the worst push on exit, which is why Eric Schauss had such a hard time passing Nick Flory on the inside when they were on equal tires. And now
Yeah.
he's really starting to put a gap on him right now.
Yeah, I think he got that buffer he needed, and I was saying that's really starting to show. But yeah, so right now you can see Nick starting to push a little bit more. Say it looks like he's still making good time, but he's really having to wrangle that car to try to get every last tenth of a second out of it. But you can see though he's just not able to catch Eric anymore. It looks like Eric's actually starting to gap him a bit, and that's going to open the door again. And actually, I should say Jim Brooks is also still on slightly older tires as well in that 76 car. So I'd say I think right now advantage might be going to the 131 of Craig Forsyth, who's sitting in fourth right here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's biding his time or if he's really struggling, because he's usually one of the guys that runs right up to the front.
Yeah, I think Craig's still kind of hanging on. Say he's only a second off the lead itself. So I mean, I think as long as maybe he knows that he's going to be having some pit stops soon here with Nick Flory first in that 0.25 car, and then Jim Brooks probably about 10 or so laps later, because Nick is about 41 laps now into this run. As I say that we are 60 to go here in the race. So I think probably about 5 more laps that's gonna be my guess. I think that's about the furthest that 0.25 is gonna be able to stretch it here on fuel. Whereas I think the rest of these guys will be able to make it to go just one more stop to the end if my math is within reason here.
Interesting to see. If he doesn't get a caution, which I would imagine he's gambling on, I guess he's going to go at least 1 lap, if not 2 laps down, if he has to pit under green.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I mean, I say green flag laps right now are running in the 24 and a half second window. Not last time by Eric ran a 24.7. But I say Nick's kind of recovered here a little bit. Say he's gotten the gap a little bit over Jim Brooks. So now I wonder, you're right though, I don't see Craig charging as much as I thought he would. But that might just be maybe he's saving his tires. You talked about those tires do wear as the run progresses here. So that might be something we see as well. Say I see Christopher Kresge in the 16 is in the pits. Not sure if that's scheduled or not for that car there. May have had some damage. We'll jump over to him real quick. I don't see anything out of the ordinary, so this might be a scheduled stop for him. Maybe he's trying to do kind of split it evenly here. So yeah, so say that 16 car though is in the pits, although this is looking like a long stop here for Christopher.
Jim Brooks is really he's reeled in Nick Flory.
Yeah, you're right. He's tightened that gap right back up again. Say just a couple of tenths between them. So he hasn't been able to find the way around yet, but you see now he's starting to really push the issue a little bit more here. And so you can see what he did there is he entered high there and then came low on the exit. But now the question is, where does he go here? That was giving me my suggestions, have him try to get to the top side through 3 and 4, but it just doesn't look like he's not as comfortable, I don't think, charging 3 and 4 like some of these other drivers are, at least at this point in the race.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way. I saw Nick Flory got into it a lot harder than Jim did, but they were fairly even once they both got back on the gas.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be what he has to do, is he has to try to get to that corner of that 0.25. But again, say we're on 46 here of the run. Say we have 54 to go. So again, though, that 0.25 is really stretching the fuel on this car. So I mean, again, that's going to be banking on yellows, but I'll say if he can get to the halfway mark in this race, I'd be honestly pretty surprised here.
Me too, but we're awful close to halfway.
Yeah, you're right. So as I say that, here he goes loose. He's trying to hang on to it. Oh, great save by Nick there. He's able to get it down at pit speed too. Big moment for him, but able to hang on to it. So that is our second place driver there in the pits. That's going to give that second spot, though, to Jim Brooks now. Move the 131 Craig Forsyth up into third. We got a good battle right behind them. We got Charles Johnson on the outside, and then you've got Jared Kaczynski on the inside. Jared got a little tight there. So there's that outside momentum we talked about, and looks like Charles is going to keep that spot here. Or actually, I'm sorry, I think Charles took that spot there. So that moves Charles up into the 4th position, Jared to 5th. In 6th is that 27 of Charles Teed. And then just a little bit behind him is that 23 of Brandon Pasalacqua.
Okay, Nick Flory is just coming out of the pits, so he's lost a lap, and I think he's probably a good lap and a half or more behind.
Yeah, looks like it's about, yeah, as I say, leader's about a full straightaway backstretch away from him. So, yeah, so unfortunately, strategy did not pan out there for him. And so we've seen that happen before at Dover. I was saying this battle, though, for fourth continues on. Now Jared Kaczynski to the inside of Charles Johnson. Looks like Jared has it for the moment. We just crossed the halfway point. So I think Jared's going to have the advantage here going through turns 1 and 2 here. Again, that inside line is the way you want to be. But I say then Charles is going to get a big draft here on that backstretch. I was saying, yeah, that 27 Charles Teedy's just kind of like, I'm just going to hang out and watch this race for right now.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd be doing too.
So let's hop on board with that 27 Charles Teed. So as he watches this fight in front of him with that 28 and 222 here. Again, right now, still Jared Kaczynski holding on to that lead, holding on to the fourth place right ahead of Charles Johnson. And you can see there, it looks like Jared is kind of hesitant. He doesn't really want to go all the way up because that's going to give Charles more draft. So I think he's kind of running that lower line just to protect it a bit. But that actually looks like it hurt him here off the exit of 4 because now Charles has the advantage here going through the front stretch.
Yep, that was the same thing we talked about before. He unfortunately had too much of a push to be able to get on it like he would have needed to stay ahead of Charles Johnson.
Now Charles Teed here jumping to the inside to see if he's able to make it happen. So you see he's not there on the, there he is on the gearbox camera, just nudges ahead right now. So that's going to move Charles up into 5th for the moment.
Well, he made that pass on the inside in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I wonder if Charles has been saving those tires possibly. I said, actually, I'm going to jump up front here again because that 76 at Jim Brooks, he's closed the gap on Eric Schaus. It's now half a second between the two of them. And Jim's actually stepped it away from Craig Forsyth as well. Craig's about 2 seconds back from that 76 car.
Wow, we could have a battle for the lead here.
Yeah, let's see. The other thing that Eric's running into here is he's got some traffic now in front of him. He's got the 41 and then the 34 cars right in front of him. That's Ryan Wachter and then Jason Bridges, but I don't think it's affecting him too much yet. I was about to say, though, I think what I saw right there was actually, that was the pit entry there. Oh, in the background, I see that 222. Jared Kaczynski gets too much rear brake. He spins out on the pit entry. Jim Brooks is in the pits, though, as we have 45 to go. So I'd say that's as far as he could go on fuel here. So I think that pit strategy as well, that stretching it didn't work out as well as he was hoping it would, because he's had to pit here as he's back out and away. So he's going to lose a lap as well. So it would be curious to see now is where he comes out in relation to the 025 of Nick Fleury.
I guess the other question that we would have to ask right now is, are they in the window to make it to the end without having to pit again? If
I don't think they are. I want to say it was like 35 or so laps is roughly the fuel window. Say, again, some of these guys might be stretching it. I see Craig Forsyth. I feel like Craig's kind of on cruise control here. I don't think he's showing the outright speed of that 131 car, so I wonder if he's on full fuel save mode because we're just at about lap 35 now of this run. So we might see some of these leaders here duck off in just a bit, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. Because, yeah, right now, still see Eric stays out. Looks like all the leaders here are staying out on track. And then looks like Jim Brooks, looks like he actually got out in front of that 025 of Nick Fleury, so advantage to the 76 on the pit stops. But again, I think we're going to see some more stops here soon, though. So we're going to keep an eye out. So let's take a look. Eric Schaus, he stays out again. So yeah, so if Eric can go just a couple more laps, I think he could feel pretty comfortable to make it to the end. Right now he's on lap 37 of this run. The 77 and Benjamin Combs, though, the 77 car is in. So that leaves, we still have a lot of drivers have yet to make a pit stop, however. So yeah, I'm going to be pretty intrigued to see what happens. But one driver that's on the march, though, is Charles Johnson. He was actually about 0.8 of a second quicker that last time around than Eric Schaus. And he is coming in a hurry here to try to get this lead.
Yeah, this is definitely showing us not just the draft, but also the newer tires.
I said I wonder if this is tire savings versus fuel savings as
Oh
well.
yeah.
I wonder if Eric's kind of gone on full fuel save mode here in that 72 car, just trying to make it to where he can go to the end of the race here, because we're at 40 to go this time around. We're going to be 39 to go at the line. So as they go side by side for the lead, saying this is lap 39 on their fuel run. So this is just about where the window is. Josh Garner 023 is in the pits. 88 of Michael Spell is in as well. Looks like actually 023 may have had a spin there on the pit entry. But I said we're gonna stay up here for the lead because this is a good battle up front. But I see Charles Johnson. He is diving in that 28 machine. Oh, he spins on entry 2.
Oh, no.
Slight contact to the to the inside wall there. I think I saw Charles Teed sneak around him. He's going to loop it around and get pointed in the right direction. That's going to cost him several seconds, though. So now, it's Craig Forsyth in the middle of a 3 wide there between, that was the 50, I believe. Yeah, the 50 of David Leclerc. Side Brendan Pasolaco right there in that mix as well here. As Eric Schaus, our race leader, is in, as is the 23, as is the 65. So that's going to be Eric Schaus, Brandon Pasolaco, Gary Corley. All these drivers are pitting here with 37 to go. They've gone about 40 to 41 laps on this run here. And I see something going on with the 5 is slow. Oh, no, sorry, the 5 is in the pits, I should say. Yes, I thought I saw something going on there, but he's in the pits. Looks like the 131 is in as well. And Roy Wheeler comes out of nowhere. He's right on the back bumper of Craig Forsyth. So this is just about to cycle through this. Actually, this is going to complete our pit stop cycle, I think, here. As I saw Jack Walls in the 83 is in as well. So now it's going to be who's going to get out in front with the lead once everybody cycles through. I think it could be the 76 here of Jim Brooks. I'm going to let everybody cycle around here for the moment. So you still
I'd like to note.
Oh, caution is out in the middle of the cycle. Oh, it's the 72. Eric Schaus is involved. Oh, no, he gets going too soon. He gets heavy contact from, I believe that was the 88 of Michael Spell. Oh, my goodness. Eric's still able to drive the car around here, but it went from a solo spin to a big hit for between him and the 88. The 88's trying to get this car turned around. So we have a caution in the middle of this green flag pit cycle here. 72 is trying to limp this thing to the pits. Decides actually he's going to try to stay out here and limp it around and try to not lose a lap this way. Oh, man, let's see what happened here because that was kind of wild.
Oh, you know what? That was his first lap. Remember how they kind of warned that it's loose in 3 and 4 on the first lap?
Oh, yeah, there he goes, steps away from him right on the entry. I wonder if he had loosened that car up as the run had progressed and maybe didn't reset the weight jacker back or something like that. So he spins, tries to catch it and catches the outside wall. Unfortunately, heavy contact for him. It looked like it was just going to be the solo incident here because you can see he's kind of, unfortunately, stuck in the middle of the track, so he tries to get to the bottom there. But unfortunately, that was exactly where the 88 of Michael Spell was. So heavy contact for Michael here as well. Both of them wound up on their wheels, so they're trying to see if they can make it back to the pits here, which it looks like. Let me jump back to the current session. Yeah, Michael's been able to. Eric is trying to still say. Eric is looks like Eric's showing actually 1 lap down at the moment. And then pit stop wise, looks like Jim Brooks is in for tires and fuel as he was the leader at the time of that caution, so he's in for service. And I think that's going to put Craig Forsyth in that 131 as our leader, as he ran it pretty long there on fuel. So, man, this really mixed everything up here. So, we're going to step away for a little bit, try to get everything caught up here to figure out who is where and what's going on. And then we'll try to re-update you on what the running order here is in just a moment. All right, so we're not one to go yet, but so we had a lot to update you on with all that craziness there. So race leader is Craig Forsyth there. So we saw him stretch that fuel and then pit there under green. Same thing for Roy Wheeler. Roy Wheeler came out of nowhere to grab all the way up to that second position there. So right now 1-2 is going to be the 131 and the 98. In third is that 23 of Brendan Pasalacqua. He is same thing. He ran it pretty long on fuel there as well. And then in fourth is Charles Teed in that 27 machine. And then rounding out our top 5 is the 65 of Gary Corley. Sixth is 28 of Charles Johnson. And then the first car that made a pit stop under yellow, I should say, is in that 7th position, Jim Brooks. He pitted a little early. I don't think he could have made it to the end, so I think that's why he did that short pit there. Or that's why he came in, I should say, again, under yellow. So that's going to move Jim up into 7th. James Ledford 8th. We mentioned Jack Walls in 83. He's in the 9th position. And then rounding out the top 10 is that 025 of Nick Fleury. So after all that, though, he's still on the lead lap in the top 10. And then the remainder of the field on the lead lap are David Leclerc, Dwight Plesh, and Benjamin Combs.
And Jack Walls, after all the issues that he's had, is back up to 9th. So be interesting to see how he does the rest of the way.
Yep, I think I see the 222. Jared Kaczynski is missing his front nose cone. However, is going to get the wave around on this one to go, so that's going to put him from 2 laps down to 1 lap down. However, he's going to have to be hoping for a quick yellow on that to get that car back in good shape. Unless he can try to do a quick pit stop here and get that fixed, but I think that'll give him a pit penalty, I believe. So we'll wait and see. Drivers that are 1 lap down right now are Ryan Wachter, Eric Schaus, Michael Spell, and Jared Kaczynski. So that's going to be a fight to try to be that first car 1 down to get back onto the lead lap should we get another yellow. And we are going to restart, though, here with 30 to go. So everybody should be good to go on fuel here to the end. So now it's going to be there's going to be some strategy, but I think at this point, though, it's just going to all about be trying to get around this track as quick as possible here to the end.
I'm trying to waiting for it to update. I'm kind of highlighted on Eric Schaus right now, trying to figure out where the other guys are that are a lap down in relation to him.
I believe his competition as we get underway. Pretty good start there for Roy Wheeler there on the restart. He's going to get right to the back of that 131 here. So I think he'll get right to his gearbox here once they get through turns 1 and 2 and through the backstretch. And yeah, sure enough, here comes Jared Kaczynski. He's going to try to get a quick pit stop here and get that nose cone, I think, probably replaced. But yeah, I think right now Ryan Wachter in the 41, I think that's going to be the competition for Eric Schaus to try to get that lap back in front of him. He's also, though, going to have to fight that the 88 of Michael Spell.
Yeah, you're right. And Ryan Wachter is actually a fair amount ahead of him. So I guess, it just must have been a lot of lap cars between the two of them.
I was talking about the 98 of Roy Wheeler, I should say, getting up to the back of Craig Forsyth. It's actually going to be Brendan Pasalacqua. He gets around the 98 of Roy Wheeler, gets up into second, and so now he's coming up with a big head of steam here up to the back of this 131. And he is there. Oh, and actually, you see Craig here, he's going to protect the bottom. Again, I think that's the wrong thing to do. I think this might be advantage to the 23 of Brandon. But right now, looks like Craig's able to hold onto that position. Behind them, I see Charles Johnson, and I believe that's Gary Corley fighting for that 4th and 5th positions. And yeah, right now we got pretty much the whole top 7 all bundled together here from Jim Brooks, Charles Teed, Gary Corley, and as we mentioned there, Charles Johnson, Roy Wheeler, Brendan Pasalacqua, and Craig Forsyth, not Greg. Apologies.
Yeah, and Craig Forsyth made the right move going high through 3 and 4 that time. And now we've got a challenge for second.
We've got action all over here. We got a fight for second. Now it's a fight for third.
Charles Johnson.
Yeah, Charles gets underneath Roy Wheeler. I think Roy might be a good long run car because, like I said, he came out of nowhere on that last run. So I'm going to watch the 98. I think maybe he's just saving the stuff here, and then he's going to try to capitalize while these guys keep fighting here up front. So I wouldn't count that 98 out just yet, but here comes Brandon Pasalacqua and Charles Johnson. They're both going to try to challenge here for the lead. Oh, as I say, that caution comes out. So that's going to end that fight for the moment. I see the 34 is involved. That is, oh, Jason Bridges, the heavy damage. And the 16 of Christopher Kresge, also heavy damage to that car. That left front's actually off the ground here. He's going to limp this thing to the pits here. So now the question is, who got the advantage of the lucky dog? And I'm actually seeing Jack Walls in the pits, or coming out of the pits one lap down. So let's see what happened first for this caution. I'm going to see what happened to Jack here in the 83 car.
I can tell you with Jason Bridges, I'm watching it right now. He just kind of lost it going through 3 and 4. His car was sideways, and unfortunately, the people behind him couldn't miss him.
Oh yeah, he's big loose there, 3 and 4. Oh yeah. Oh wow, John Brill just squeaked by, but yeah, unfortunately though, Christopher Kresge nowhere he could go. So I'm trying to see if this is maybe where Jack Walls, or was this an unrelated incident? Oh, see the 44. I think that was Dwight Plush that just sneaks through. Wow, these guys both went for a wild ride there again. Hopefully neither of these guys have VR, because that probably was not a very enjoyable feeling as I'm running in super slow-mo. So it's a lot worse at speed, I'm sure. And somehow both of them again land on their wheels, which is a huge benefit for them. So what I want to see too though is, here's Jack Walls is in the pits at the time of the yellow. And let's see. So yeah, he comes out. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait and see, because right now Jack Walls is lined up. Where is Jack here in the 83?
Jack Walls and Nick Fleury were racing for position. Jack is on the outside and Nick is on the inside. I think this is in 3 and 4. And as they're coming off the turn, Nick pushes off a little bit, and Jack Walls is, I guess, taking a more of a normal exit, and unfortunately they touched each other, and that kind of sent Jack Walls up into the outside wall. He didn't hit it that hard, so I'm kind of surprised that he pitted, but he must have damaged it enough that he had to.
Yeah, let's go back and take a look at that one as well. So yeah, we see the battle here as they go through the backstretch, entering turn number 3. Yeah, like I said, just a little bit of side pod to side pod contact. Unfortunately, like I said, yeah, it just pushes Jack up into the wall. It's probably enough damage or enough of a hit probably to damage that steering a little bit. So you can see the right front wing is damaged there. And so he was stuck in the wall for a long ways as well before it could finally get off of it. So I have a feeling that suspension was probably damaged on the car. Oh yeah, his wheel is skewed way off to the left. So yeah, he had no steering in that car. So actually, caution was probably a bit of a break for him. Unfortunately, say he does get trapped a lap down from that. However, I say it could have been a lot worse without the yellow. Ryan Wachter was the driver that got the wave around under that last caution, so move the 41 back onto the lead lap, which leaves us 13 right now on the lead lap. So unfortunately, Eric Schaus was not able to get around him. So right now our battle for the Lucky Dog battle is going to be between Eric Schaus, Michael Spell, and Jack Walls. And this could really, again, still got 20 to go, over 20 to go here, Steve. But these are the top two in the points right now, running in the 14th and 16th positions, respectively.
Well, that's going to close up the points for some of the other guys, assuming that they don't get their laps back and move up through the field.
Yeah, and also, there's also bonus points for no incident points. So unfortunately for both of those drivers, that won't come into play tonight. So I don't know about Craig. I know Craig was in the mix there, a little further back in points, but we'll have to keep an eye on him. Of course, he's going to be one of the ones trying to capitalize. Actually, you know what we can do? Let's just pull up the points now and take a look what it was entering the race.
Right, yeah.
So it was Jack Walls, Eric Schaus, 11 points apart from each other. Charles Johnson is in 3rd position, Craig Forsyth in 4th position, and then they had a pretty good gap over Roy Wheeler in 5th. That could definitely still play a role in this, though. So because you can see right now our race leader is that 131 of Craig Forsyth, and then we saw Charles Johnson. Oh, actually, Charles was the first driver to pit there under that yellow. So Charles here is going to restart in the 6th position, and then Roy Wheeler's right behind him in 7th. So actually they're going to have fresher tires as well now than those ones in front. So I'm gonna guess they probably did probably no fuel. As you see, the 83 is gonna have to actually fall to the back here on this caution. So we're gonna see where. So that's gonna be the next thing. Let's look at is to see where these battles for the lucky dog, where they fall in line with each other. So I'm gonna let's find Eric Schaus first. He's going to the inside, letting these leaders around. So then we're gonna have to watch for Michael's spell and the 83 of Jack Walls and see where they. So what's happening right here is basically all the lead lap cars get to go around the lap down cars. So what Eric's probably going to be hoping for is that some of these cars that might be 2 or more laps down, maybe they can act as a bit of a buffer between himself and the 88, and then of course the 83.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have at least 2 cars between him and Michael Spell. And I think there's one between Michael Spell and Jack Walls.
Yeah, so you got John Brill in between them, and then when we go to the 88, like you're saying, Steve, you've got the 222 of Jared Kaczynski is. Oh, as I say that though, here comes John Brill in the pit. So there goes that margin that Eric was hoping to have there. So they're all going to be pretty close together here. So you can see right there, you've got Eric right there in the bottom. You got Michael right behind him. Then you've got the 222 of Jared Kaczynski, who's showing 2 laps down. But then you've got the 83 of Jack Walls right behind him. So this is going to be an important fight should more yellows come out, because that could really affect your outcome of the race. Because let's say Eric gets it instead of Jack. So I mean, that's going to open up Eric to gain up to 14 more positions here. So this is going to be a big battle here, not even just for the lead, but just to try to be that first car 1 lap down.
Yep. So Eric's going to be on it here, I think.
Yeah, I'll say we've never known Eric to have a lack of aggression here. So I would definitely see Eric trying to find any ways to move himself forward. Obviously you don't want to play a role in the fight with the lead lap cars, but at the same time, like I said, I mean, he's got to go. He can't just ride behind them, because that could cost him a position to Michael or Jack as well.
That's right. So we're about to go green.
Yeah, it's about go time again. So we're going to restart with 19 to go. We got Craig Forsyth leading the way. Right behind him is Brandon Passalacqua. Now Gary Corley is in 3rd. Charles Teed 4th. Benjamin Combs is in 5th. None of those drivers pitted under this last caution. So Roy Wheeler, Charles Johnson, they're going to be the first cars with the new tires. So let's see what they're able to do here is wait for that green flag to fly. And he is away. Gets a pretty decent start. As you see, they're going to take the short distance around here as they get up to speed. Those top 3 actually got together pretty well here on this restart. Say they left 4th place there. Charles Teed just a little bit behind though.
And we have 18 laps to go, so these guys are really going to have to push it here.
Yeah, so aggression is going to pick up on all parts of the track here for the lead, for the top 5, top 10, and of course trying to get that lap back as well. So we'll try to keep an eye on all of those as things progress. But right now, though, Craig Forsyth doing what he needs to do. But he's going to have to play defense, because Brandon Passalacqua is all over the back of that 131. It looks like, again, Craig's going to protect the bottom. We'll see how this goes here through 3 and 4.
I'll tell you who's on the move, though. Charles Johnson on those fresh tires. He's already up to 5th, and he's now trying to make a pass for 4th. He's caught up to this lead pack.
Yeah, Charles is there. So he's working on he's working on Charles Teed. Doesn't quite get him there through the tri-oval. He's going to try to see if he can make a run here through 1 and 2. But right now, everybody's going for everything they can get right here. It looks like Brandon's got to the inside now of that 131 of Craig Forsyth. So let's see how this inside. Oh, one get way high there. I think that may have been the 65 of Gary Corley. That's going to cost him a couple of spots. And so far, though, Craig's able to hold on to this lead here in this 131 car, but it is a battle right now. And saying now, if he sees these guys battling behind him, that's exactly what he wants to see. Close fighting between Charles Johnson, Charles Teed. Charles gets the spot, and he's going to immediately go after Brandon Passalacqua here. He's going to try to use these new tires as well as he can, as quick as he can. Saying that 28 is now in 2nd and on the back gearbox of that leader, Craig Forsyth, and he is on the inside here entering turn number 3.
Will he be able to pull off the inside pass?
It's
doing
looking
Doing
good.
it.
Craig's going to pull back on the outside. Got the momentum, but Charles is going to have the momentum here and the preferred line here going through 1 and 2. So, but now let's see what Craig's going to do here coming out of turn 2. Is he going to try to get that run? He does. He's going to go to the bottom here. And now we'll see what the newer tires do on the outside line versus the low line. And sure enough,
Look at that run.
oh yeah, look at that. That outside line shows why it's definitely the way to go, especially with those fresh tires. So move Charles Johnson to the lead.
That's a heck of a run from 6th all the way up to 1st.
Yeah, I say he decided those tires are worth it. I mean, they've been paying off here, I say, but we're not done. There's a lot of fighting going on. I say Craig's not done either. He's going to keep after you here, but you can see Charles, he wants to protect that outside, I think, through 3 and 4. And saying actually this time Craig does a really good job through 3 and 4. They hold even at the line. I don't know who had it at the line. Looks like it may have actually been Craig right there, but that was thousandths of a second between the two of them here. And saying again, Charles Teed is right in the mix here as well, and it's also bringing Nick Fleury out of nowhere up into 4th position.
Oh, Charles Johnson.
Oh, Charles got too high.
Well, he touched the back of Craig Forsyth and had to get out of it.
He's able to keep it going, though. He's going right back at it. He gets to the inside, though, of Nick Fleury. He's going to grab that 3rd spot back, but now he's going to have to try to get around Charles Teed. But he's going to tight battle there with Nick Fleury there in 4th. Man, and they are battling everywhere here.
Charles Teed is going for the lead.
Yeah, you're right. We got 2x2 and 2x2 for the 3rd position as well. Again, Craig's able to hold it off, and this is wild. We have 10 to go here at Kentucky. These drivers are holding nothing back right now. I'll say Craig's doing everything he can to hold on to the lead. Trying to hold out Charles Teed. Nick Fleury now is able to get around Charles Johnson. And here comes Roy Wheeler. I talked about Roy. He seems like he may have taken it easy on those first couple laps to really get it after it as the run progressed. So let's keep an eye on that 98 as well. Battle for the lead lap is right now Eric Schau still has that position advantage. He's in 13th over Michael Spell and Jack Walls. But now that 27 Charles Teed, he's having to fight off that the 0.25 of Nick Fleury, and that's going to be exactly what Craig Forsyth wants to see. As you can see, they all kind of jockey for what line they want through 3 and 4. But right now, say they're holding steady here, 1, 2, 3. Charles Johnson now is under attack from Roy Wheeler. Now that's for the 4th position. Looks like Roy is going to grab that spot, so let's see what Roy is able to do now. He's got some clean air on the nose of that number 98 machine. Saying Jim Brooks not too far behind as well, as Roy gets a little tight there off of 2. But I think he's going to have the momentum that we talked about that you need to have through 3 and 4.
Really surprised that Charles Johnson dropped back so quickly.
I just wonder maybe he abuses stuff too much too fast. I mean, it seems like we've seen some people make really big charges, but then they fall off really quickly. So I said we've seen a few drivers kind of have that happen. So I'm watching now. I think Roy Wheeler is going to be the one to keep an eye on because he's got the freshest tires of the. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Nick Fleury does. Right now, Nick is in 2nd with the freshest tires. He's got about 13 laps or so over Craig Forsyth on these tires. Oh, it's a big wiggle. They're off of 4, but he keeps it straight. And he is all over the race leader as we have 6 to go here.
Yep, this is going to be a good battle.
I say this is one of those risk versus rewards. Craig's going to protect the outside line here through 3 and 4. So let's see what he's able to do. We saw the 0.25 push a little bit earlier in the race when he was battling further back. But this time he's got the clean air on the nose and it sticks much better as we have 5 to go here. Last time around, fastest car on track was the 98 of Roy Wheeler, so he's starting to close the gap here. Is within a second. He's definitely got their draft, but up front, though, right now, Nick Fleury trying to hold on to a lead right now. He's able to get around Craig Forsyth, but Craig still, again, we've seen Craig fight back on the outside and then get that draft and make a charge here, so I would not count out that 131 at this point in the race.
Yeah, Craig's done a really good job of managing his tires, but with 13 lap older tires, he's going to have a rough time here, I think, because Nick Fleury's been extremely fast even when on equal tires with someone. But as I say that, Craig Forsyth is making a challenge on the outside in 3 and 4.
I think Craig, second. Whoa, no contact. No. Oh, we got a lot of cars involved here. Yellow is out. Charles Teed got through it. I don't think Roy Wheeler did. Craig Forsyth, unfortunately, I say we saw that. We saw Nick get loose before here off of 4, and this time he did it again. He tried to catch it, Yeah, and there's Roy Wheeler. He was involved as well. Oh, that's awful there, unfortunately, for some of these drivers there. As we were coming to 3 to go there, we saw it in real time. Let's go back and look because that was wild. But yeah, I think Nick just got loose there in that 023 or 025. I apologize. Let's see if we can get a better angle here as well.
It kind of looks like the same thing that happened with
Oh yeah, just snapped and I just snapped on him and heavy contact. And you see the 131 contact with the 98. That sends Roy Wheeler into the outside wall hard. And I think I saw a few sneak through. I'm not sure if the 28 of Charles Johnson, if he got through clean or not. It was close for him. Let's go right on board with Charles Johnson here. Let's see what he was able to see and how fast this all happens. Oh my goodness, Charles just like completely squeezed through the middle there. So I think actually, as I said, I think Charles Johnson is in the pits, I believe. Yeah, he is. So he may have actually had some damage in that number 28 car that I didn't see, or he decided the tires are going to be worth it here. So yeah, so this is going to put us back. This is going to put us in green, white, checker territory here. So this will be attempt number 1. Again, we do have up to 3 attempts right now, though. And so also got to definitely mention that 72 Eric Schaus is back on the lead lap now. He was able to hold off Michael Spell, Jack Wall, so he's going to also benefit from this because of Nick Fleury, Roy Wheeler. I think with all of their damage, they may have had to take a tow. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I see them both sitting in the pits. Let me take a look. Yeah, I see Roy still sitting there, so I think he's having to wait for that tow to finish up on the 98 car. Let's take a look at the 025. Yeah, he's still damaged, so I think he had the tow as well. So the 131, unfortunately, Craig Forsyth, he is back in the mix. Unfortunately, he's going to be back in about the 10th position, but he's going to be, I think, the second car in fresh tires. Third car in fresh tires behind Dwight Plush and Charles Johnson. So I think we're going to see him definitely make a move here and try to get as many spots as possible. Unfortunately, he's not going to get those bonus points either, though, for having no incident points in this race.
I'm not sure what happened with Charles Johnson, but he's behind all the lap down cars, and it looked like he had to wait for them to all go by, which means he may have gotten a pit penalty.
And actually, I'll wait to see if this is accurate or not. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at something else to say. My thing's actually showing that it's 1 to go in the race. I wonder if the green, white checkers were possibly not turned on for the Indy cars. So this could under yellow. I'm going to wait and see because usually it tells us that it's going to be extended out. But I haven't seen that message here so far because usually it'll say like lap 100 of 103 or 104 once it extends up. Right now it's saying 100 of 100. So this could actually wind up ending under caution here. We'll have to wait and see here, but that's going to really hurt some of those that decided to make that pit stop gamble, like Charles Johnson, who was actually in that second position when this caution came out.
Yeah, that would be very unfortunate.
Yeah, so it would be kind of in a way fitting too, because with the Indy cars, last couple of races, the Indianapolis 500, of course, unfortunately ended under yellow, as did one of the races at Gateway. So I'll say we're going to run through here and we'll take a look. Because I'm going to watch see what these drivers do here, but I have a feeling that, let's see. Yeah, I think that might be it. I say it says finishing on my screen. I see everybody's moving around, so we're not going to have a green, white, checkered finish this evening, unfortunately. So our race winner is going to be Charles Teed in that number 27 car. That is our winner for the race this evening.
Congratulations, Charles Teed. And look at Jim Brooks finishing second and Gary Corley in third.
That's wild, yeah. So that's going to shake things up even more. I'll say it's going to keep the points pretty tight, actually, too, because if you look at the points contenders here, so you have Craig Forsyth in 10th, Eric Schaus 11th, and then Jack Walls in 12th. They were all right together, so all that work kind of just undone for some of those guys. So yeah, pretty wild there. So yeah, so that's gonna be our top 3 this evening. We're gonna try to get some interviews with them. So I'm sure some of the admins are going to be unhappy that the green white checkers didn't wind up happening for the race this evening. However, one driver that's not going to be disappointed at all is going to be that number 27 Charles Teed as he pulls up to the start finish line. I would expect to see some burnouts from him, and away he goes with those. So congrats to our race winner Charles Teed in that number 27 machine. And like I said, Jim Brooks rounds out the second spot, Gary Corley third, Brandon Pasalacqua brings it home in fourth, James Ledford is our top five. So let's go see if we can hunt down some drivers here for some interviews. Alright, so we're looking for Gary Corley first, and I have found him here, so give us just a minute, we'll get everything pulled up.
Although I might add.
Alright, let's go ahead and pull up our third place finisher then, Gary Corley in that number 65 machine. So I just noticed now some similarities and some sponsorships between yourself and that 27 car. So I think we've got some happy teammates here coming to the as a result of this race tonight. Let's see if we still... You got us, Gary?
Yeah.
There you are.
It was a fun race. It was nice to have Dark Horse Racing first, third, and fourth. Our team did pretty good.
Now you guys had a great run tonight. I saw some comers and goers kind of during the run. It looked like Tyler actually played a pretty big role tonight compared to maybe some other races. If you took it easy earlier on, did it seem to have more pace towards the end? Like, could you actually really kind of abuse those tires and lose the pace on the last half of the run there?
Yeah, tires were definitely, especially in 3 and 4. A lot of guys were pushing up high. And late in the race, we only had about 6 laps under green from our last pit stop on like 62. And on that last yellow, a lot of the leaders jumped in and we were questioning, you only have 6 laps on the tires, but it was the right choice because before they wrecked out, they were just flying by us. And it was unfortunate for those guys, but tires were a big thing.
And we're noticing also the different grooves definitely played a role here. Well, I should say in 3 and 4, different grooves played a role because it seemed like the inside line, if you could clear them, it worked. But otherwise, if you got held to the bottom side, you wanted to be on that top side if you're going to try to make a pass through 3 and 4. Was that kind of what you felt like in the car as well?
Yeah, if you backed up the corner a little bit leading into 3, you could get a better run coming out of 4. But some guys were pushing up high, so it was risky. If you were going to take the high line, some of the guys were pushing really hard, and they'd have to really get out of it, and then you'd have to get off of it as well. So the real difference I saw was in turn 1. Some guys were hugging the outside, apexing late, and a lot of guys, including myself, I was just apexing, hugging the inside all the way into 1, out through 2, and it seemed to work for me.
So you did an awesome job. So you started in the 10th position, brought it up home in 3rd. Definitely want to give you an opportunity here. Any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that 3rd place run tonight?
Just my teammates at Dark Horse Racing. They're a great crew. We spent a lot of time practicing and testing together, and great bunch of guys. I'm glad to be on their team.
So enjoy it. I'm sure you guys will have some celebrating to do this evening. Like I said, that 1-3-4 result, that's nothing to kind of shake your head out there. So great job tonight. Look forward to catching you guys again here soon.
Thank you much. Have a good evening.
All right, so that's Gary Corley, our 3rd place finisher there. Then we're going to pull in our 2nd place finisher. So you got a win last week in the Cup Series, now able to grab a 2nd place finish here in the Indy Series. I'll say I'm sure kind of mixed feelings on this one as a racer and an admin, being able to grab the 2nd spot, but then also knowing that you didn't get that green-white checkered finish that you guys were expecting to have there at the end. So But still, overall, I mean, a good result for you, and I'd say pretty wild end of the race there. I mean, I'd say take us through those final laps first off.
Yeah, we got to fire that admin that set up the race. He really sucked. Yeah, it was a crazy race in general. I wish really, I guess, double-edged sword what you wish for, but I think that I might have had something for Charles Teed there because I think I had a little bit newer tires than him, but it was really a fun track with the setup. You really had to drive it. It was good in 1 and 2, and then really had a pretty bad push in 3 and 4. But if you ran the middle line as tires got old, it really was a much better line, and you could pass that way, and I did pretty well. But yeah, there was a lot of crashing there at the very end. I don't know who did what, but Craig got taken out. But overall, it was a fun race.
Yeah, so I'm sure you'll review it later on. It was just hard racing between the two of them. Unfortunately, Nick just got I think Steve and I were watching a lap or two before he got a little loose off of 4, was able to hang on to it. But then that second time, he was actually just in front of Craig and got that little bit of that death wobble, if you will, off of 4. And tried to catch him, and unfortunately just right hooked it, and that's exactly where Craig was going to go to try to get that momentum on the top side. And so, yeah, just heavy contact between the two of them. Roy just barely wasn't able to clear him, and that's where Roy got collected as well. So it was really good, hard racing there up front. Just an unfortunate mistake just caught out a couple of them at that very end.
Yeah, I was really sad for Roy because he was going to have a really good finish. That was one of the problems is if you kept turning hard, if you tried to turn hard off of 4, then it really would loop around on you pretty easily without any warning whatsoever. So you really had to try to be straightening it out sooner than later for sure on that.
I think Steve had a question he wanted to run by you as well, so I'm going to give him the floor here.
Yeah, I do have a question. Did you know at the end before it actually didn't happen that there was going to be no green-white checker? Green-white, yes.
The dead giveaway was when he said white flag, and it was like, he shouldn't be saying white flag. He should be saying first green white checker. And it's kind of strange because I set these all up, and they pretty much keep the same stuff. I don't know if you've set up. I'm sure you have races. Most of the settings stay the same, so I really don't know why that got changed.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that would change from one time to the next. But I noticed that Charles Johnson is one of your fellow administrators, right?
Yeah, he's the league owner in general.
Yeah, so he kind of got fooled by that whole thing.
Yeah, I'm probably not his favorite person right now because he pitted from second because his plan was to run up through the field, and maybe win it there at the end. I don't know. That was a best idea, all things considered. But yeah, that sucked for him. I'm really sorry about that.
I know Gael had mentioned to me, he was like, well, Charles Johnson pitted out a second. And I was like, all right, well, green white checkers coming up. He's pretty fast on fresh tires. That could be a good move.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. There was like 12 cars on the lead lap, so he would have had a lot of work to do. I think he still wouldn't have done it, but it's easy to say when it didn't happen.
Well, congratulations on your second. Yeah,
Thanks,
we watched you a lot
it.
during the race, and you did a great job up there.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
That's our second place finisher, that number 76 of Jim Brooks. It's unfortunate to say on the driver's side and the admin side, I'd say there's always those things happen. I've done my fair share of mistakes on servers too, be it unlimited fast repairs or things like that, Steve. So we're all human, so mistakes happen. But I say in the grand scheme of things, it didn't change a ton for a lot of people. I'd say Charles dropped, unfortunately, from 2nd to 8th. But at the same time, that could have gone any way really as well. So because you never know if some of those other people may have pitted, he could have been further up. So we'll let the admins kind of figure that part out after the race. But still, as a whole, though, just an awesome race here. And that being said, though, we still have one more interview to do. That's going to be our race winner here, that number 27 of Charles Teed. So we're going to drag Charles in here. Getting the win there. It's a wild finish there. Then you were in the battle there between all those guys trying to dice it up there, trying to get the lead. and then just able to squeeze through the carnage there at the end. I mean, take us through those final laps there.
Yeah, that was a fun one. The guys that took tires had an extreme advantage, but I think it kind of went away after about 5 laps. So Charles had gone around me like a rocket and started to push. I was super fortunate. Craig was really fast. I had to run on him a couple of times and couldn't get under him. And then he and Nick got together, and I was just super fortunate to be there just far enough back. But I was getting a run on him, so if that would have happened a lap later, I would have been in it too. Just a lot of fun. It was it was a fun race with the track that changed, or the cars changed through the run, where you really had to change the way you drove as the run went on because the tires would wear and push to the wall in 4.
Yeah, there definitely seemed to be some comers and goers, like you said. Like you said, initially Charles just came out of nowhere, just flew through everybody. It's like, oh man, he's got this in the bag, and then all of a sudden, here comes Craig back after him, and then you were back after him again. And so you could just see how tight he was getting. So let's say during the run, were you trying to manage those tires to kind of keep them alive for that longer run, or how did you kind of control it through the race?
I think that as the runs went on, my car was better than most out there, where I could still hold the bottom, where a lot were pushing up. Either that or else they were just overdriving into the corner. But as runs went on, that's when I was picking up positions. And if I wouldn't have screwed up a couple of pit stops, I would have been right there with Craig on that last. But I kept having to get around. And this is a meaty group of drivers that if you make a mistake passing 10 cars, it's tough sledding. So really, really fortunate. All these guys are better than I am, but I'll take a lucky win.
I've got a question.
Yeah, go for it, Steve.
Charles, did you make any changes to the settings? I forgot which one makes the car tighter and looser, but did you make any changes?
Yeah, no, I definitely did. I think that's one of the neat things about these IR18s is that you can tinker with the way the cars run during a run, and it definitely made a difference. It was definitely a fast car as runs went on, and yeah, it was fun. I mean, we had the whole Dark Horse team. Gary was right there in 3rd, Brandon in 4th. Nick didn't have as good a run, and Josh, but we were right there. And it was running with these guys. There's no one I've run with better in anything on iRacing than this group of guys. So it's really fun to sneak one past them tonight.
Go ahead, Kyle.
No, yeah, so you're exactly right. I mean, I was going to ask the same thing actually as you, Steve. I was going to ask if you messed with that weight jack or anything like that during the run, because you could see how much the car was changing as the race progressed. So that's actually perfect, exactly what I was going to ask as well, Steve. So yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, with these races, I mean, it always takes a little bit of everything. I mean, you got to have the speed, but you also have to have the strategy, have the luck. As well as initially we were a little worried with the initial pit stop strategy, because we had where Nick stayed out so long and then had to pit way earlier than the rest of the field. I was like, oh man, he's going to be in bad shape. But then everybody pretty much had to pit there. Everybody did, I should say, had to pit under that green flag run. However, though, I say that when that caution came out kind of in the middle of the cycle, that kind of trapped a bunch of people down, and then also just allowed some drivers to kind of get back in the mix as well, because I think you and Craig and a few others you guys, I think, had stretched to make it to the end, but I think others were probably going to be short there if had it stayed green the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's what we based it on. I knew it. I mean, we're still clutching it on restarts, but I knew we had enough, and I know how hard it is to pass. That if I held the bottom, I was going to, even with new tires, people are going to have their hands full. And Charles, of that whole group that got tires, he was the only one that got around me, and was lucky enough to get back around him. I mean, it's just some nights everything falls your way. There's been nights when I've had an absolute rocket in this series, and it hasn't gone my way. Tonight, I think I definitely had a top 5 speed of car with the pace we had. But it was nice to have things fall my way, and it's super unfortunate for Craig. And Nick was really fast that he was running with. He just a little mistake, and it's a bummer.
Yeah, so unfortunately those happen. Yeah, so we were watching as, like I said, Nick just had a little bobble there off of 4.
Yeah.
Had it happen once or twice before. So he tried to catch it, but unfortunately, and we saw a few cars too where they would try to catch and then just the car would just hook at the worst time, and so that's just how it goes, unfortunately, at times. And one of those things, I'm sure Craig's upset, but at the same time, I'm sure after a little bit he'll look back and like, it's hard racing, it is what it is. I think we've all been in those situations as well. Yeah. So.
That's one of the neatest things about this. It's just a good bump. People just really respect each other in the series and race clean before racing to win. And that's why I love it. That's why I'm running with these guys, trying to learn all their tricks.
Yeah, so they do have their tricks they go a long way. So yeah, keep learning what you can, because I'll say I haven't figured out some of them what they're able to do as well. But that being said, before I let you go, definitely got to give you an opportunity here. Any thanks and shout outs you'd like to give for anybody watching or anybody that helps you, brings you to the track this evening, and of course your teammates and such.
Yeah, well, first, it's really nice that Charles and Jim put this thing on and let me come out and run with them and our team. Tonight was the first night we brought all the Shaking Bake guys over to run. So definitely got to thank, Brandon's fast and anything you throw him in. Gary had his best ever run. It was really neat to go see that the Dark Horse guys have a good run.
Yeah, you guys put on an awesome show tonight. So yeah, congrats again. I say enjoy it with your team, and say look forward to watching you again here in these future races.
Thank you for the broadcast.
I'd love to be a part of it. So yeah, thank you for putting on an awesome show for us to be able to broadcast as well.
Outstanding. Take care, gentlemen.
All right, that's our race winner there. Charles teed in that number 27 machine. Say put himself in position at the end to try to get that win. Say unfortunate contact between the front two, saying he was able to squeak on by and grab the win this evening. Say let's go through our final results though. Let's see if it lets me put our results up. There they are. So our race winner there, Charles teed in second place, Jim Brooks. Gary Corley brings it home in third. Fourth, you got Brendan Pasalacqua. James Ledford rounds out the top five. And then you've got David Leclerc, Ryan Wachter, Charles Johnson, Dwight Plesh, Craig Forsyth. As we mentioned, unfortunately, no green-white checkered finishes this evening. Just a little bit of a hiccup on the server side of things. It's like we've all done it. So it worked out, though, in Charles's favor this evening. Charles Johnson tried pitting there and just didn't work out for him, so that drops him down to 8th. Craig Forsyth in 10th after being able to limp that thing around and get back on track as well. So able to still recover and get that top 10 finish. I mean, that's going to still be a good result in the long run. I say, because again, you're going to see in this next page where all his competition was. So you can see right there, Eric Schaus, Jack Walls, all right there in that mix as well. So really, 8th, 10th, 11th, 12th were the top 4 in points. That's where they wind up tonight. So we'll have to see what the points look like next week when we start the race. We'll take a look there. And you see a few drivers, unfortunately, lap down at the end of it. Jack Walls, Michael Spell, Roy Wheeler, unfortunately, just couldn't get through that incident there. Otherwise, he would have had a top 3 finish as well. So you saw Nick Fleur there have a really good battle there at the end. Just a little bit of a mistake, and that's what cost him. And you see Jarek Kaczynski there. Chris Jabot in 17th, his first race here with the Area 51 League, and first in a long time with these Indy cars. You got Benjamin Combs, Corey Cook, and Nicholas Nook rounds out our top 20. And the remainder of the field, you see you got John Brill, Art Peck, you got Christopher Kresge, Jason Bridges, Josh Gardner, and Bud Steele, who unfortunately was not able to make the start of the race. So with that was actually 100 laps here at Kentucky. I say, unfortunately, didn't get to have those green-white checker attempts. But still, though, even without them, though, Steve, that was a wild race. Really exciting one for all these drivers. Really hard battling throughout the field. And it's just, it seemed like the track, the car, the setup, the whole combo works so well together tonight.
Yeah, it definitely felt like this had probably the most intense action of any of the races we've seen so far, because passing wasn't quite as difficult because the tires went away, and whoever managed their tires better was able to get a run on people. So we saw, I think, more passing for the lead than we might have in some of the other races. And it was definitely exciting to watch these guys.
Yeah, this is a really good race. And say we just came out of probably one of the hardest stretches of schedule that they had, where they ran Watkins Glen and Dover, and I think it was Phoenix was in there too. I'll say now we're kind of getting back into the bigger track, so I think that's going to really help them out as well, because after here at Kentucky, it's Michigan, and then the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, or Mosport, Chicagoland, and then Homestead's going to round it out. So we only got 4 more races to go again. So I mean, I think it's going to keep things really tight here up front for the points battle. I'll say again, looking forward to seeing how that all pans out. I think it's going to be really exciting. So again, want to thank you all for joining us this evening here at Green White Checker TV with the Area 51 Racing League. Steve, want to thank you as always for joining me here in the booth. It's always a pleasure to have you with me. Saying these guys put on a fun show for us to be a part of tonight as well.
Yep, I enjoyed it. Always enjoy broadcasting with you, Gael.
All right, so for the rest of you at home, hope you enjoyed the show as well. Say if you want to catch some more racing, we'll be back tomorrow with the 87 Cup cars. Say let me hunt down. Actually, I'll tell you what track we're at as well. We are at North Wilkesboro tomorrow. So if you want to see some short track racing, there's going to be 100 laps at North Wilkesboro. And then on Thursday, we'll be back with the Area 51 Cup Series at Kansas. And so that's going to be a tricky one as well, because as you know, Steve, those cars really like to run the top line. So passing will be a premium there on Thursday.
Most definitely.
All right. So for myself, Gal Brooks, and my partner in crime, Steve Gottschalk, want to thank you all for joining us here tonight with Green White Checker TV and the Area 51 Racing League. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. And so until tomorrow night, please, if you can, try to stay home, stay safe, wash your hands. And until tomorrow, have a good night.